Okay, guys, man, things are just crazy. During that intro clip, did you guys have audio? I heard nothing. I heard absolutely zero here. But anyway, we're gonna figure this thing out. Oh, okay. Hey guys, this is Amateur Radio Roundtable, and today is May the 2nd, 2023. And this is Amateur Radio Roundtable. It's a show about ham radio, amateur radio, shortwave, and electronics, whatever. And we're so glad you're with us tonight. And if you're out there listening on world famous international shortwave station, WBCQ, we would love to hear from you, where you are in the world and how you're hearing the station. If you will, send us an email to tom@w5kub.com, tom@w5kub.com. Also, join our Facebook group. We've got about 14,000 members in our Facebook group right now. The simple way to get to our Facebook Ham Radio Facebook group is just type W5KUB in the search on Facebook and you'll get it. Also, if you will, click the subscribe button. It's going to be right over here somewhere. Hit that subscribe button, and that helps YouTube to, advertise our show. We'd love to have you hit that subscribe button. It'll help us out a whole lot there. Let's see. Let me see what else is going on here. A lot of developments are going. We'll talk a little more about it in a little while, but we've decided to webcast the Dayton Hamvention all day Saturday. So we're going to have a stream up all day Saturday, and with the help of Mark, they're in the chat room, KE8HIW. Did I get that right, Mark? Anyway, Mark is going to be setting up a link to use there, a Starlink, and our own Wi-Fi for the area out there. So we're going to have about 6 or 7, maybe 8 roving video reporters. They're going to be walking around out there, and we got prizes. So we're going to have an all-day Saturday Hamvention, and hopefully it'll work good, and we'll have some fun on Saturday. So that's one of the things going on here. So before we get into the RF exposure, let me go back to Glenn and just say, Glenn, man, sorry you had so much trouble tonight. How you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm hanging in there. I'm trying to. The audio feeding back to me is about half of what the audio is on the outgoing playback.
It's about half, huh?
Yeah. So whatever you're feeding me, it's gotten really low.
Well, I'm not feeding you.
And I didn't change anything.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm feeding you anything different than what I'm feeding anywhere else.
But when you played the theme, it was about twice as loud.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing from
you.
Yeah,
it may have been recorded much louder too.
Well, I mean, it was twice.
Yeah. Hey, so you're going to be at Dayton, and you're going to do you got a forum going up there, and you're going to be there. Hey, we're going to Saturday the 20th. They're asking what the date is. Saturday, I think it's May 20th, is when we'll do the webcast, and we're going to do it from I think like 8 to 4. That'd be like 9 to 5 Eastern, 9 to 5 Eastern time on W5KUB, and we will be giving out prizes to people out there. And if you want to get a prize, though, you can't be in the YouTube chat room. You're gonna have to be in the W5KUB chat room. So that's how Hambot works. So we're gonna have a lot of fun here. What time's your forum?
9:15 in Building 4. So you could actually send somebody down there to video it if you want.
Well, that's a possibility.
This is another all new forum. I've redone it just for Dayton.
Yeah. My only concern that we don't know yet. You're inside probably. I mean, most of those buildings are metal buildings,
right?
And the Starlink and the Wi-Fi we're putting up outside is going to be outside. So we don't know. it's probably not going to cover inside very well. But if you could get someone just to at least get a video,
Yeah.
record that.
Someone could record it.
Yeah. And then we can always play it back at some other time on one of the shows if we have to,
Right.
All right, well, that's good. 9:15?
9:15 in forum number 4. That's the
Okay.
building out back behind the bleachers
Oh, okay.
of the flea market.
Behind the bleachers. I
Yeah.
didn't even know there's a building back there.
Oh yeah, it's a brick building. Right, you keep following that asphalt
Yeah.
trail around, and it takes you right to it.
Wow, well, I missed that.
Or you can hop one of the golf carts and get you there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Bill's doing a Pico launch there about 1:30 to 2 o'clock. We're going to launch some balloons up there. We're going to sit down with all our roving video guys and just try to lay out a time schedule for Saturday, and things to see. And hopefully we can have one of our video guys right there with Bill and show the launch of the Pico balloon. So that'll be a cool thing to do. Bill, just keep reminding me as we get closer to the time that you're actually going to get them launched there. Also, hey, if there's anybody that's watching right now that's going to Dayton and would like to help us, we're looking for other people that can, maybe give us 15, 20, 30 minutes on Saturday. And you just take your smartphone and I give you the link and you click on that link and you have an HD camera on the show. And we're going to be able to select your camera here on the show and show everybody in the world what you're looking at there as you walk around. And we'll have two-way communications with you. Well, we'll be able to say, hey, give me a close-up of that SX120 or whatever. We'll be able to talk to you and kind of steer you around there. So we're looking for volunteers that might want to help. And hey, even if we have a couple, 2 or 3 running around at the same time, that's okay. We can take multiple people at the same time and then just select what camera is interesting at that time. So if you'd like to help us Saturday, man, please contact me. And you'll be working with Mark there, KE8HIW up there. He's got a booth outside. And I forget the number. It's on the south side of the track there. But we'll be able to provide you connectivity there where you can stream back into the show. So man, we need some help. I think we got about 6 or 7 people possibly that are going to do that. I'd love to have 10 people that are going to do it. And in between, if it gets boring there, Hambot's going to be giving prizes out all day on Saturday, so that'll be good. And Mark is going to have a camera actually running in the outside booth there. So if it's pouring down rain, man, we can switch over to that camera there and we can watch everybody running around in the mud, and so.
I remember that first year and all that mud. You had a video of me up to my knees in it.
Oh man, it was deep that year. I mean, it was really, really deep. Yeah. Okay.
Something else.
I'm sorry. Booth 8220 and 8221 is where where Mark will be there, and where we'll have streaming set up there, and Mark and you guys can coordinate with Mark and me. I'll be on the show hopefully most of the day, in and out. Mark will be on there. Looking forward to this, and I think it's going to be fun. I just hope it's not raining. I don't think it's going to be raining.
I don't know. The long range forecast is showing rain on a couple of the days.
Well, I was listening to Ryan Hall, and probably some of you guys know who I'm talking about. And he showed us the weather pattern out there, and there's this weather pattern that's straight through the U.S. blocking everything going east, man.
Well, that's fine.
He said there's going to be a lot of rain to the west. He said it's going to be very little rain. He said we'll get some rain to the east, but it's going to be very little rain to the east of central U.S. So Ryan Hall, y'all, is a pretty good guy to have on here. Check him out on the internet.
Yeah. One more thing, Tom.
Yeah.
I've been coordinating with ARRL here the past couple of days, and they have promised that they are going to have my book there, and they're going to set me up, and I'll be signing books Friday and Saturday. So probably right after my forum on Saturday, I'll be back at the ARRL area meeting and signing books and everything. So y'all come on by.
Okay, we'll surely try to do that. And again, if we can, we may be able to do video, live streaming video from inside. And if we
That'll
are,
be fun.
We'll come by there, and you'll also know where Mark is out there. I'm sure you're going to get out in the flea market.
Oh, so yes.
You can come by. You can come by and make a special appearance there.
Oh yeah. No, I love the flea market there. I'm driving this year so I can bring back boat anchors and everything.
All right. Well, since I'm not going this year, I'm going to watch the flea market right here. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're going to point and say, "Buy that for me and get it."
Yeah, if I see something I want, like a new 2 kilowatt amp or something, Glenn, I'm going to say, Glenn, buy that for me. Bring it back. I'll pay you when you get back.
Right.
All right. Okay. Very good.
Yeah, I got plenty of room. I'm taking the big SUV, so we're good.
That's cool, man. You can bring back a lot of stuff.
Bring back lots.
All right. So I just wonder how things are going out there. I'm seeing the show on W5KUV. It's coming back on YouTube. So I don't know. Glenn, you know all the big wigs there at YouTube. You need to contact one of them and complain.
I don't know anybody at YouTube.
Well, I don't think there's anybody there but robots.
And what makes you think I'm on good terms with robots?
Well, that's your field, man. You're Arduino.
They don't like me. They don't talk to me.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, let's do this. Hey, man, I want to talk a little about the RF exposure that is a requirement now. I mean, it's law. And let's see if this thing works here. Let me see what I got going here. So, yeah, look at this. So I did the RF exposure here at my, that's the wrong one. I did the RF exposure. I did about 4 or 5 pages. And what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to calculate your RF exposure for every band you're on, for every antenna you're on, every power you use, any combination of any of that. You're supposed to have done the RF exposure calculation on that. Let me see. Okay. So as I mentioned, I did it on the bands I work mostly, and the power that I typically run. For instance, and this is going to tell you how safe it is to be near that. First, let me go over some of the rules here and what's happening. This is effective tomorrow, on May the 3rd. There are new FCC rules governing RF exposure. They went into effect. They've already been in effect, but they really go into effect tomorrow. It's been going on for a 2-year transition period now. And it was that transition was implemented to allow existing stations to make any necessary changes. It sounds bad, but it's pretty simple, guys. I'm going to show you how simple this is in a minute. Now, FCC RF exposure rules are not new to radio amateurs. In 1996, the FCC enacted the first exposure regulations that affected the amateur radio service, and all amateur radio stations were expected to comply by 1998. Now, I'll have to admit, I really didn't know much about that. Did you, Glenn? Glenn, are you there?
Oh, yeah, I was doing something else.
Okay, you may have, yeah, were you aware that by 1998, a lot of these rules were already in place?
No, never heard about it.
Yeah. Okay,
And
so they're really making it real formal right now. So the FCC also added a certification statement to Form 605 and your Form 610 that had to be affirmed by every radio amateur who was issued an FCC license. If you renewed your license or you changed your station license or anything, or even your address, on that form, you had to select and check, I'm aware of this new law. They wanted to make sure that you knew this new law and you don't play dumb. Now, I really didn't know about it, and I've renewed in the last few years, and I don't remember that being on the form there. But anyway, so it says here, due to the 10-year license period, it says by 2008, every licensed radio amateur in the U.S. had certified that they would comply with the FCC rules for RF safety. By 2008, it says all of us that did that. Now, maybe we just checked the box and didn't know what it
we
was.
had to certify, but we didn't have to certify that it would obey the rules, but we didn't have to formally do this calculation thing.
Yeah.
We just said, we'll abide by whatever you tell us to.
So let's see here. It says here, in addition, looks like all mobile and handheld radios were categorically exempted from performing this exposure assessment, because I guess it'd be so hard to, if you're driving around, to know what your distance exposure to people that are walking around the car, so. And also repeaters were exempt from that as long as they were running less than 500 watt effective radiated power. Now, under the newly proposed, what was that? You say something?
No, that was my phone.
Oh, okay. So under the newly proposed changes, the same rules apply to all licensed transmitters in the United States. This goes for every transmitter in the United States, not just hams. Another change was the FCC called, they had a thing called the PAC, that's the Positive Access Control, which became the responsibility of all affected radio amateurs under the new rule. So positive access control, I think what that's actually meaning is you're responsible for your transmitter site, and you're responsible for the access of anybody that walks in that area. Whether it be, somebody walking down a sidewalk and comes up in your yard or whatever, you're responsible under that rule, the PAC, the Positive Access Control. It's a little complicated here. I think what you're thinking is that most hams don't want to get into the positive access control, because what you would have to do, you'd have to put up like a big fence around your transmitter. You'd have to put signs on there that says radiation, don't enter RF radiation. And most hams aren't going to do that. So they've come up with this other calculation that we have to do. And I'm going to show you how to do it in just a minute. And let's see. I think we lost Glenn. Okay. So let's see. So as of May the 3rd, 2023, every station must be assessed for exposure before it's operated. The ARL is providing online an RF exposure calculator that will help you to calculate the specifics for your station. And you bring Glenn back. Try to bring Glenn back. I can get to. There we go.
Yeah, it abended again on me.
Yeah, get you a new laptop. Expensive.
No, it's this app. It don't like this app.
All right. All right, so the ARL has a site out there that you can go to. If you go to arl.org/RF-exposure-calculator, it's going to bring up a screen that will do this calculation for you. And I'm going to bring that screen up right now so you can see it. And we're going to just do a couple of them here real quick. I'll show you how easy it is to do. So let's see. We're going to go here. And we're going to type in the URL. The URL, which is arrl.org. /RF-exposure-calculator. And it's going to bring up the ARL site. And if you read down through here, it gives you a little detail about it. And here's the parameters. Here's what we got to fill in here. So let's do one real quick. Let's do one. So it's very simple. Power at the antenna. Do you need help with that? If you need help with that, you can click this tab here, and it's going to tell you various duty cycles and what to use for your power. It's going to, it talks about loss in your coax and stuff. Or yeah. So anyway, let's do this. We all pretty much know power at the antenna. So let's say if we run a kilowatt, and we've got let's say we got 3 dB loss in our cable, so that's going to cut the power to half. So our power would be 500 watts at the antenna. So we're going to key in 500 watts right here. Glenn, can y'all see that on the screen?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And then duty cycle, I'm going to say you pick your duty cycle. Conversational sideband. No speech processing, because if you got speech processing, that increases your effective power. So we're going to say a conversational sideband right there. No speech. The duty cycle. Okay, now we got to talk about duty cycle. So let's just say we transmit for 3 minutes on average, and we receive for, say, 4 minutes. I mean, that might be a typical discussion between two people. 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and so forth.
Yeah.
Antenna gain in dBi. Now, here's where you can click on help here, and it's going to tell you on this screen, if you look down here, your dBi. So a delta loop, for instance, a delta loop here, the dBi is 5.2 dBi. 5.2 dBi. So we're going to go back to our calculator and put 5.2 in there. 5.2. Okay, and in the operating frequency, let's just say we're going to operate on 40 meters. So I'm going to be operating on 7.18. Okay, now that's all I have to do. But here's the kicker. If you're operating on 20 meters, you got to do this again. If you're operating on 80, you got to do it again. If your power is different, you got to do it again.
And if you use a different mode, you got to do it again with all those bands.
That's right. So there's various combinations here.
I'd need 300 pages.
That's true. You could. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down here, and then I'm going to hit calculate here, the calculate button. And instantly we get the answer. It says right here, maximum allowed power density. This may not mean a lot to anybody, but I think that's milliwatt per square centimeter. Let's go down to minimum safe distance. It says if I'm running 800, if I'm running a kilowatt, remember what we put in our formula. I was running a kilowatt, but we get 500 watts to the antenna. We get a 2.51 dBi gain, so forth. With that configuration, maximum safe distance from that antenna is going to be 1.4 feet. That sounds pretty close, don't it? So 1.4 feet. Look at that. Now, that's a controlled area right there. Okay. Now, controlled area means that, you've got a fence around, I got a 10-foot fence around it and a sign, saying don't come in and all that stuff. So all the ham stuff, basically, we're not going to put up a big fence. We're not going to put up a sign. So our distance is going to be a little different. So we're in an uncontrolled environment. So right here, it tells us in our uncontrolled environment, minimum safe distance from that antenna is 3.1 feet right there. So all you got to do is hit print results right there, and you will actually have the form that you need. Now, let's go back and let's discuss it just a little bit more. So you can see it's pretty simple there. So we did the form, and let's see. Let me read here. Let's see. Every station on access for exposure. Okay. Okay. The ARL provides the RF exposure calculator, and the calculator there requires values to be entered for power transmitted, minus the feed line loss, the antenna gain, the type of modulation, the approximate transmit and receive times, and the frequency. All that you saw, we put that in that form right there. All right. So now here's the thing: the FCC does not require you to submit that information to them. You don't have to submit anything. It's just they just want you to do it. They recommend that you do that, and you just take your forms and you file them in your ham radio drawer. And that way, if anyone ever makes a complaint toward you about RF exposure or says, hey, I walked by this transmitter and I got burned. If the FCC then comes to you, they're going to say, have you done the study? And you're going to say, well, yes, I sure have. In fact, here's some printouts where I did them last year. These are my antennas and the bands I use and so forth, and maximum power and so forth. And the FCC is going to say, well, that's great. I'm glad you did it. Or they could say, did you do it? And you're going to say, well, I did it, but I can't prove I did it. And they're going to say, are you sure you did it? And then you'll probably say, well, maybe I didn't do it. But anyway, so you guys kind of get the gist of what I'm talking about here. This becomes law tomorrow, the 3rd of May. It's real simple to use that calculator and to do your analysis there, and just file it away. You don't have to submit it. So anyway, that's kind of a breakdown on the RF exposure. So what do you think, Glenn?
Well, are the mobile stations still exempt, or do we have to do that for them as well?
Yeah, mobile stations are exempt, and mobile stations and repeaters. Let's see.
So those are still exempt from having to do this.
Yeah. If the repeater's under 500 watts.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about the repeaters aren't going to be, more than 3 feet away, because they're going to be several hundred feet up a tower. So
yeah.
They're not going to be accessible. But I'm thinking, like in cars, you can reach around and grab my antenna anytime you want. So, that foot distance isn't going to fly in a mobile station.
Let's see. I'm looking at the chat room to see if there's any questions.
Bill said that there's some stations on 75 meters that are running more than 100% duty cycle.
More than 100%. Yeah. And they're probably running more than a couple kilowatts too.
Yeah.
But
what I would think about doing would be taking the 100% duty cycle modes, or do the calculation for 100% duty cycle and say, look, this is the max. Here we go, and just do it for every band rather than having to do it for every mode and every band that I operate, because I operate all of them.
I would say
I'd
I
have
would
300 pages.
what I did, I took the top power that I'll be running because
Yeah.
anything lower than that is going to be, a shorter distance. Let's
Right.
do this. Let's go in here and just play with one form, and let's put 100% duty cycle in, and let's put 2 kilowatts in, and see how bad it really is. So I don't think it's going to be bad at all. To tell you the truth. Let's see.
No. No,
So
these
here we
are
go. Yeah. So okay. So all right. So power at the antenna. Hey, let's say we got 2,000 watts at the antenna.
yeah, you
We
got really
don't,
good feed line.
we don't have any loss, man. We got
No.
2,000 watts at
No,
the
you're
antenna.
running Helix.
Yeah, I typed on the wrong keyboard. Yeah, okay, we got 2,000 watts at the antenna. Let's see, duty mode. Let's see.
AM.
There's AM.
You're going to run AM on
Yeah,
these things.
100%. And let's say we're on for, you want to go for 10 minutes?
Yeah, let's go for the full 10 minutes.
We're going to talk for 10 minutes, then we're going to ID, and then we're going to give it to the other guy that's running 2,000 watts, and let him talk for 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put 10 minutes here for receiving too.
Yeah, I mean, that's enough time to cook a turkey.
Antenna gain, we'll keep the 5.2 dBi. That's my loop out there.
Yeah.
And we're on 40 meters. All right, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens here. Now, if you remember, the minimum safe distance a while ago for
1.4 feet.
Uncontrolled, though, was 3.1 feet right here.
So a yard.
All right, let's see what happens here when we put all that other in there. Bam. Oh, man, look at that.
Look at there.
You shouldn't be within 16 feet of that antenna when the guy's running 100% AM, 2 kilowatt. Oh, man, yeah. You got to stay 16 feet away.
So put it 17 feet in the air and you're good.
That's true. That's true. So let's see, and that's a good point. I got one more picture here that I can show you, I think, if I can find it. Let's see. Yeah, right here it is. So, I mean, for people that have big towers and stuff, I mean, this moves you up away from. It helps you out there, so you can see right there. Hey, if you have your antenna up 80 feet in the air, somebody walking around on the ground are going to be well outside of the RF exposure. And by using the Pythagorean theory, there you can calculate just a triangle there. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. So you can tell, the distance from you to the antenna there. So
yeah, and see, now your tower would probably be considered a controlled environment because they're going to have to climb your tower.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Let's see.
See, and I'm already there because I don't have anything near 2,000 watts, and I've got a 40-foot tower. So,
yeah,
I can tell you right now, everything I got's going to work because the most power I got here is 200 watts.
Yeah, and like Bill's saying, it might be a problem in California where your nearest neighbor is 16 feet away. So
well, you just don't run 2,000 watts of AM. You run sideband or CW.
Yeah. So I think from these numbers you can see that RF exposure is not that.
It's not really that going to be that big of an issue if you have a decent antenna. Because if you're running 2,000 watts, good heavens, you're going to have an antenna up in the air. You're not going to have it running along a fence line with 2 kilowatts.
Yeah.
You're going to have that thing 30, 40 feet up.
Oh, yeah.
And, at that point, as far as I'm concerned, if I've got a dipole 40 feet up, that's a controlled environment. Because what are you going to do? Climb this tree and access my dipole?
Yeah.
Of course, I'm lucky. I mean, my whole backyard is fenced in. So,
Yeah.
I got controlled environment as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, Mark's got a good question. Does a higher or lower frequency change it much?
Yeah, it does. As you
Yeah,
go
move
higher
that
and
up
higher.
to 10 meters and see
Yeah.
what it does.
Okay, we'll do one on 10 meters. We'll do the same one on 10 meters. Let me go back to show the form here. And let me get the form back
Yeah,
up.
and then Bill said try it on 2.3 gig. Although if you're running 2 kilowatts at 2.3 gig, you're cooking your neighbor's turkey in his living room.
Do we want to leave 2,000 watts in here?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to leave 2,000
Keep it the
watts
same
here.
and just change your operating frequency to like 10 meters.
Yeah, we can do that. So right now at 2,000 watts in the duty cycle we're running on talking, we're 16 feet. We got a hazard within 16 feet.
Right.
All right, let's change that. Let's change that frequency to, what do you want to change it to?
Change it to 28,100.
28,100.
Although that's not in the side, but that's not in the AM portion of the band, but still it's close enough.
That's fine.
That's the CW portion.
I got to type on the right keyboard here. 28.1. All right, let's do the calculations. And remember, we were 16 feet. So here we go. Well, did we do it? Oh, look at here. 65 feet now.
Wow.
So, hey, we may be getting into something here now. If you run 2,000 watts on 10 meters, we're looking at 65 feet.
But 2,000 watts on 10 meters is just about legit.
Yeah. Well, I think it is.
Well, at the antenna, realistically, what's your max? 1.5 kilowatts?
Don't get me
1,500?
thinking, man. Hey, I took my test 58 years ago, man. Is it
Well,
ERP? Is it ERP or is it?
No, it's power out now. And I want to say it's 1.5, but you're going to have loss.
Yeah. Let's do this. Let's put the frequency up really high.
Yeah.
Let's put it like, hey,
like Bill says, let's make it, 2.3 gig.
All right.
It's going to be 2,300 megahertz.
2,300. Boy, we're going to get fried here. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, like Bill says, the crow's going to fall off the antenna.
That's
birds
right.
are going to fall down.
Okay. I hit calculator. We may bring the internet down on this one. What is that?
It's still calculating.
Oh, is it?
Well, you get your hour.
Yeah, I think it is. Well,
no. Hit calculate again and be sure you did, because those are strange numbers. I'll be darned.
It may not go that high. Let's put in here 440.
Yeah.
I don't know if the program goes that high. Okay, here we go. Calculate. Well, there we go.
But see, it would have to. You're going to need calculations if you're going to be running 2.3 gig. If you're a microwave guy running 2.3 or 10 gig.
Yeah, well, I don't know. So I don't think that's going to be an issue for any ham radio.
Nobody's going to be running 2 kilowatts at 2.3 gig. I mean, let's get serious.
Right.
Well, you're not going to have 2 kilowatts at the antenna, no matter if you are running 2 kilowatts.
I always wanted to run, hey, we as hams, we can run a kilowatt on 1.2 gigs,
Yeah.
So in the Wi-Fi band, the 1.2 gig Wi-Fi band, I think that's shared in the amateur band, I think.
Yes, it is. The 2.4 is shared.
2.4. That's shared.
Channels 1 through 6 are shared, and we have full 1,500 watts on those bands.
Okay.
Our maximum power is 1,500 watts PEP.
Okay, I'm thinking about running 1,500 watts on my internet access point.
We are allowed 1,500 watts in 2.4 gig and all ISM frequencies above 902.
Okay, so I'm thinking about running 1,500 watts on my internet access point here in the house. The problem I've got is that may desense the receive side a little bit, because
You think?
my phone's only running milliwatts to go back, I mean, I hear it a long ways away, but I might not be able to get back into it if I'm more than a foot away from it,
No, but you'll be able to use your neighbor's Wi-Fi, 3 miles up the road.
Yeah, yeah,
So you won't need to pay for your own internet.
yeah, that's true. All right, let me see what's in the chat room here. Falling off your tower, let's see. Hamvention, what's that? Hamvention this Yuri, Jeff, not going to. Okay, Bill says he's not going to Hamvention this year.
But they're going to be doing the breakfast at Big Boy on East Main.
Oh yeah.
On Friday and Saturday.
Now there's Jeff N3VE. Jeff is going to also be one of our guys up there that's going to help do the streaming. So everybody welcome and thank Jeff for volunteering to help. Again, if we got anybody else here that's going to be up there that can help out with streaming, well, man, we'd love to have you on a team and help us stream just that one day. Well, yeah, Glenn just left again. Interesting. Huh. We got to get Glenn a new computer, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's Mississippi internet. Oh, let's see. Yeah, Bill says he could, if we were running 1,000 watts here, he could access it down in Huntsville. When I was working satellite several years ago, one of the satellites had a 2.4 gig downlink, and I took there was a modification for a little small cable type converter, and it was a down converter, and we modified it per the instructions to make it connect a 10-meter receiver. So I actually did make a 2.4 gig contact with the space station. Let's see, no, it wasn't a space station. It was one of the satellites, something like SO50 or something. They had a 2.4 gig transponder on it they could turn on and off. But we were like either 2 meter or 440 up, but it was 2.4 gig down, and we received them fine through that little converter and into the 10-meter radio. So that was kind of interesting there. Okay, let's see. Yeah, hey, well, let's see if Glenn's back. Let's see. Yeah, Glenn's back. There's Glenn. You're back.
I don't know what happened.
Andy says he's got a computer running Windows 98 he can send you.
No, it's the app.
Is that upgrading too much for you going to Windows 98?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still on 95 with the with the service pack and the fun pack and that kind of thing.
Yeah, man, interesting.
But no, it's this app and Windows 7. It just does not like it.
All right, because I'm not dropping off.
Yeah, but
so,
see, you're also. Are you using the same link that I am?
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
That's the question. Are you using the web link? Because you have more controls and stuff than I do.
We tested. Mark and I tested last night or the night before. And we were on we were on for over an hour and a half, and we had Colin from Australia come in here, or New Zealand, wherever he is down here. We had Colin, we had several people come in, and we were on an hour and a half solid, and nobody dropped, which made me think, hey, this thing is really working well.
Okay. Bill actually said you did drop off for a few seconds when I dropped off, and that's what I saw.
Okay.
Is you dropped and then it dropped me and I had to get back in.
Well, maybe you have your drop recovery turned off. See, my drop recovery is turned on.
Where's that?
Well, it's a little hidden. It's a hidden pixel right up there in the top. It's about halfway across, about 6 pixels down, and you just have to look for it.
Because I don't have a drop recovery option.
Now, if you don't put your mouse right on that 1 pixel, you're not going to see it. It's a
Really?
hidden dropout recovery, and it's a secret. Nobody knows. I shouldn't even told you that, but
Yeah.
if you move your mouse around up there, if you don't go over, your mouse isn't going to change. So you probably just not finding it.
No, I'm not seeing it.
Yeah. It's just keep looking. It's up there.
And you say it's where? Where in the screen is it? At the top?
All right. Let me ask the question. Is there anybody in the chat room that thinks that I'm not pulling Glenn's leg right now?
No, I'm thoroughly convinced that you are.
Is there anybody in the chat room that thinks I'm not pulling Glenn's leg? Man. Well, let's see what they say.
Because this thing seems to be a very limited app.
Yeah, Amy says if that's too much for you, he's got one that's got DOS 3.1 on it.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Well, I've got a Windows 11 system sitting on the floor here waiting to replace this one.
All right.
Well, but I have to finish my book first.
Why?
Because I don't want to interrupt and possibly lose everything I've gotten.
Well, you don't have to put anything on it. Just bring it up with a browser for the show.
I don't have desk space.
Disk space? Well, are you gonna load the 11 on that PC?
Desk. D-E-S-K.
Desk space. Okay.
I have no room.
I got you. No desk space.
I have computer here. I have computer here. I have company laptop here. I have no room. I have no room for another dual monitor setup.
Well, I understand what you're saying. I got the same problem.
See, and I tried it with Firefox, and Firefox abended too.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
And right now the cats have the Windows 11 system, and they're not going to let me have it. So.
Yeah. Hey, I don't know. Have you played with Windows 11 any?
Just a little bit. I've got 10 in the lab and 10 at work.
Well, I got it on this new gaming laptop I bought here, and the part I saw was different. I couldn't find a button to turn it off. Where it says shutdown, I couldn't find a shutdown on it because it isn't over on the left bottom like it is on Windows 10, and you don't have that little search bar over there.
Yeah.
So you got to click another little icon in there, and then there's another little icon kind of hidden down in the bottom right that says shut down. Or they say on Windows 11, you can just hit the shutdown button.
Yeah.
And it'll shut it down.
I have not worked that much with 11. Like I say, the new system is on the floor here, waiting to come up as soon as I finish this new book.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Or retire, whichever happens first.
All right. Well, you're getting close to retirement, right?
Well, relooking.
Wait a minute. Are you about to give in and they're going to keep you a little longer?
Going to keep me a little longer. The date right now is either the end of June, or if they negotiate a little bit, it will be the end of October or the 1st of October, because this new book is due by the 1st of October.
Okay. All right. All right. So everything pretty much stabilized with exception of the dropouts, but it looks like we're managing it okay. So everybody just stand by, and we'll be back in just a minute, and we're going to talk about what's coming next year. Got cabin fever? Look no further. Spring is in the air, and ICOM has just what you're looking for. We have top quality base stations, mobiles, and handhelds that are perfect for working your favorite bands. Want to catch a sneak peek at our upcoming IC905 SHF release. See it at our booth at the Dayton Hamvention. Wycom's newest amateur FM transceiver is the IC V3500. With a compact body and simple interface, this radio is a must for those looking for a long-range mobile with a fresh look. The ICT-10 is a rugged portable that meets or exceeds standard military testing. With an IP67 waterproof rating, the ICT-10 can withstand any field activities ahead. Hear transmissions and listen to FM broadcasts with the loud 1500 milliwatt speaker. The IC7300 is a high-performance, innovative HF transceiver with a compact design that will far exceed your expectations. This innovative HF transceiver digitizes RF before various transceiver stages, reducing inherent noise in different IF stages. The IC7300 changes the way entry-level HF is designed. The IC705 is a perfect sidekick and QRP companion. Base station features and functionality at the tip of your fingers in a portable package, covering HF 6 meters, 2 meters, and 70 centimeters. This compact rig weighs just over 2 pounds with an RF direct sampling for most of the HF band and the IF sampling for frequencies above 25 megahertz. Okay, guys, I'll tell you what. I cannot hear the audio. With that clip playing, I couldn't tell when it was over. Because,
I can hear it.
Yeah, and I used to could hear it here, but now when I play a clip like that, the audio does not. I'm not hearing the audio here. Let me play another clip. Let me put Hambot on here. I don't know what's going on. Why I'm not hearing it.
Now I hear that, but it's not in my headphone feed. It's on my desktop speaker, so it may be coming on a different audio out.
Are you telling me your earphones are plugged in to only one side of your audio?
When I'm talking here, the Melon app on the web uses my headphones. But when you played Hambot right there, it came out of my desktop speakers, which are the default speaker device, not the Melon app device.
No way.
I'm telling you, this Melon app has bugs.
No way. No way. No way.
Yes. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Have you got your audio set up where the output goes to your headphones?
Yes.
Okay. There ain't no way. There's no way I'm changing. There's no way I'm changing your audio output on that computer.
All right. Go ahead and play it again. And now, how could you hear that if it's in my headphones and you're not hearing everything else?
I didn't hear it. I didn't hear anything.
Came right out of the speakers.
All right. All right. Look. Let's just. We've got experts on the chat room. All right, experts, line up your experts to talk about this. Glenn has his audio set for his mic, his headset mic input, and he's got his audio set for, well, I don't know what you got your audio set for.
In Melon app, I have my audio set to use a USB headset.
Ah, USB headset.
And
right.
that's, the audio uses the USB mic, and the sound uses the USB headset. My default is my speakers on my desk.
So you're telling me that you're hearing me right now in your headphones.
Correct.
But if I do this, you telling me it's going to come out your speaker. Now let me try this. Hang on. Hey guys, we need your help. The Huntsville.
Yep.
That came out your speakers?
Yes, it did.
Okay, we need an expert in the chat room. Let's see.
Exactly, Mark.
Probably playing browser audio to the speakers.
Browser audio is played to the default speakers.
Oh, you know what that tells me? I'm not sure what that tells me.
That tells you that Melon app doesn't do what it's supposed to do when it's supposed to do it.
That is very interesting. Oh, I don't even know how to troubleshooter figure that out?
Because I don't have that level of granularity in determining my settings.
Well, that's a new one on me where some audio comes out your headphones and some audio comes out your speakers.
It's because of the Melon app having its own ability to control audio.
Yeah, but I'm sending the same audio, all the audio.
Apparently
on the
it's
Melon app.
different. Apparently it's different when you play it versus microphone.
Interesting.
Because remember, I told you your audio that way was about twice what the theme was, and that's a played. And I don't remember if the theme was playing in my headset or off the desk.
Yeah, okay. Well, that just doesn't. Jeff is saying the app has different audio settings. That's fine, but all the audio I'm sending you is going through the app. So I'm not saying app send some audio this way and app send some audio that way, unless it's doing it and I don't know it. So
I think it's doing it and you don't know it.
Mark P. We're going to have to. I don't know if it's a big deal or not, but Mark P. We need to test this in the next couple of days to see what's happening there, and also, I'm not getting any. I'm not hearing the audio when I run a video, and I was hearing it before. I don't know how it got turned off. I think your computer did it somehow. Yeah. Glenn, he says, are you watching it on the browser or the app? Oh, it's kind of coming to me now. I think I'm maybe starting to understand.
It's a browser that I'm using. I do not have the app. I'm using the browser link on Chrome. But again,
but you're tuned into the app though. I mean,
I'm using the link you sent me on Chrome.
Yeah, you are. Okay. Oh, that's interesting.
So technically it is the browser, but it's the app on the browser.
Yeah.
And no, Bill, we're not using Zoom. We're using this Melon app.
Yeah.
And it handles the playback audio differently than your audio feed there, Tom. So it's coming through a different path.
Now, I'm going to have to get somebody in here to certify that. I'm not sure if it's really me or your Windows. Your Windows.
I've got my audio engineer right here, and she's saying this is what it is.
If he can talk, I'll take whatever he says.
Yeah, tell him it's wrong. Tell him the app just ain't doing what it's supposed to do.
Okay. Oh man. All right. Hey guys. Okay. Well, hey. I hope the part on the RF exposure was interesting for you. That is something that goes into effect tomorrow. Again, you're not required to submit it. Just you should do a couple of those and just print it out and put it in a file. Okay. So we're 2 weeks away from Dayton. 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Well,
maybe less.
It's the 18th on Thursday when I drive up.
Yeah, 18th, and today's okay. Well, that's
right at 2 weeks and 2 days.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So guys, we're looking for volunteers that can stream for us from up here. We'll provide you the links and everything. You just walk around, and we'd like to get your name on a little a schedule that we put together. I'd love to have you there. So let's see. Let me talk about something else here. Let me get let me bring something else up that's kind of interesting, or I'm working on next. So everybody knows I've been kind of slow rolling my satellite system. I bought the Yaesu azimuth elevation rotors. I've got the new SAT satellite controller. It will control the antennas. So my next step is to get up on a roof and take off the two antennas, the 440 and the 2-meter antenna. They're just single Yagis up there, and so one polarity. And anybody that knows anything about satellite, that satellite is kind of moving, it's kind of rotating up there, so your polarity changes. If you're listening to the satellite, like with a handy-talkie and a handheld antenna, you can actually rotate that antenna to clear up and get a better signal. In other words, when you got the polarity match, you can hear the satellite very, very good. If the polarity is like opposite, the satellite takes a deep fade, kind of. So my antennas are fixed. They're fixed vertical polarization up there. The antennas I'm going to be putting up are the M-square satellite antennas. They are both, they're the crisscross plus type antenna, where I've got vertical and horizontal elements on each one of them, and they're phased together for, I think, right-handed circular polarization, and we need to get an expert on circular polarization. I also have the cabling fixed up here where I can send 12 volts up to each antenna, and that should reverse the right-hand circular polarity to left-hand circular polarity. Sometimes it makes a difference, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. So that's one of the next steps coming up. So I went up yesterday, and I took a couple pictures. These are hard to see. This is a little flat roof over a back porch where I have my antennas.
Looked like you were doing that around sunset
On it.
or
It may have been.
sunrise.
It may have been. And this is a non-penetrating mount. I welded me a little tripod there, and it's on a pallet. It's on a pallet, and I'll be laying some concrete weights on it. So that's non-penetrating. I didn't, drill holes or put bolts into the roof or anything like that. And it's held up pretty good. Right now, both those antennas are aimed up. I aimed them up, almost straight up, because my plan is when I go up there, those are actually out of reach. I can't reach the top rotor. So my plan is to go out there and grab that mast and just tilt it over 90 degrees. And maybe let it rest on a couple milk cartons, and that way the antennas will be roughly at knee height or waist height or something. And what I have to do is take the two antennas off. I need to put me another boom between here to get them a little more distance apart. I need to change the elevation rotor out, which is on top, and I need to change out the azimuth rotor, which is lower. I may have a better picture here. Let's see. Well, let's see.
Yeah, that is something. Don't forget, you got to do your exposure calculations on that thing too.
Well, yeah, I do. I really do. So there is there's the two antennas just aimed basically straight up. There, you can see the elevation rotor at the very top. You can see at the very bottom of the picture. You can see the azimuth rotor. There's a little flat roof I'm talking about. It's in the back. I've got a lot of trees around my house. I just have to deal with it. They're going to cause some attenuation. I do have some open sky, especially above and to the north and to the west. Anything low to the east and south, I'll have to shoot through the trees, which is okay. You can do it, but it's going to attenuate things. Well, that's not what I want to bring up. So there's another shot from a different angle. You can see the pallet. You can see the rotors. The antennas pointed straight up. Another shot. You can see the trees behind back there. There it is from looking at it from the ground. And So you can see the little 440 antenna right there. It looks like it's about, I don't know, it's about 4 foot long or so. The new 440 antenna I'm putting on there, that sucker's about 17 feet long. I mean, it is a long
That's a
crisscross.
monster.
It's a monster crisscrossed antenna. It's going to be as long as that 2 meter beam you see right there. So let's see. There's another shot just of the, the base again. And again, I'm just going to grab that. It makes it pretty easy to that rotary you see at the top there is just about head height. So everything above that is out of reach for me. So I'm just going to grab that mass pipe there and just lean it over. That whole pallet will then tilt over. I do think I need to put me a couple more weights on there just because I'm going to have a lot more wind resistance on the new antennas. Okay, so that is back to...
Yeah, you're going to need another 10 pages of that.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, because your power is going to be different if you're working satellites versus the moon bounce.
Hey, yeah. Well, no, I don't know. It's one antenna and one band.
Yeah, but aren't you going to increase the power if you're going to do moon bounce?
Well, I don't have power here to increase.
Well.
Probably won't. I do want to try the moon bounce. I understand. I mean, the 9700 here, I think doesn't it run 100 watts?
Pretty sure it does, yeah.
Yeah, I think it does. So that'd be about what max I could run. That is really the minimum that you can use for moon bounce. And when I say minimum, I'm talking about using something like a digital format, digital what is it?
JT65.
JT65, I think, is for satellite. So that's about the minimum, and also to make contact using that 100 watts in JT65. To increase the chances, you need a big gun station at the other end. You need somebody at the other end that's got power and it's got a lot of antenna.
And you also have to be careful running that JT65 at 100 watts at 100% duty cycle.
Yeah, that's another thing we will have to consider.
You're going to want to run like a 50% duty cycle at best.
Yeah. Back in the older days when we ran teletype, that was high duty cycle, and we'd always run an extra fan or something, blowing in.
Well, we also had tubes that were very forgiving.
Oh yeah. That's true.
Running 100 watts on a 6146, it was kind of like, yeah, what else do you want me to do?
Yeah. Let's see. Jeff's talking about the egg beater antennas. I built an egg beater antenna a number of years ago and tried it.
I had a set that I built.
I didn't use it very much. People are successfully making contacts with the egg beater. It's fixed in one place, and you don't rotate it or anything. I don't think you don't rotate the egg beater. It's just fixed.
No, it's just fixed.
Yeah. So Jeff's talking about he's on some egg beaters. Yeah.
Now what I've got is a pair of the Scorpion wire Yagis, and they're 2 meter and 440, and then I've got them rotated and then phased together. So I've got horizontal and vertical through a phasing harness on my two.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. Let me check the chat room here.
Yeah, that was kind of my experience. I had some home-built egg beaters, and they were kind of like, okay. And when I went up to take them down, discovered that one of them had apparently been hit by lightning because the PVC cap that housed the connector and everything was literally charred.
Yeah.
But fortunately, it didn't get a rig or anything like that. It just took the antenna, because I generally leave the stuff disconnected if I'm not going to be on the air.
Yeah. And I've disconnected mine over here. I haven't been on in a while, and it's safe to disconnect your antennas, especially when you have these storms come through. We've had some pretty good storms come through here the last couple months.
And see, I'm near the top of a hill, so I'm kind of a lightning target.
Yeah. So, I've got my remote base set up over there, and I've got a off-center fed antenna out there, which is multi-band, and that way I can go from band to band with the remote base without having to switch antennas. And basically what I did, I built up just a little box that uses one of these Wi-Fi switches. And I use that to turn my remote base on and off. I think is it me? I forget what the app is. Wemo or something like that. Is it Wemo? Yeah, Wemo. So I just hit the little button and the radio comes on over here, And in that little box I built up that has the AC turn on and off, I also put a coaxial antenna relay switch in there, where when the power comes on there, that relay energizes and it connects the antenna to the radio. And of course, when it's off, it grounds the antenna. So it gives me some protection on my remote base over there. All right. So we talked a little about the satellite tonight. We're talking about the RF exposure. Let me just fill everybody in on what's going on. I think with our balloons that we launched, and I should be able to pull it up here. There we go. Yeah. So I thought 112 and 113 were down for good. 112, I haven't heard from 112 in about 20 days. That's not totally impossible that it won't come back, but 20 days is pretty long and we should have heard from it. So I feel like and that's the red track you see there. I feel like probably 112, it stopped transmitting. I'll talk about that in a minute. 113, W5KB 113 is the green. It started off making about 4 or 5 revolutions in the north hemisphere. It went to the south hemisphere, and it's been flying around down there, another 6 or 7 loops around the world. 3 days ago, it stopped transmitting. I thought, well, it's gone. But it sent another whisper transmission today. So 113 is still flying. And if you look at the sun, daylight, darkness there, this is wintertime in Antarctica, and the days are very short, and there's not much sun down here. So that may be one of the things that's affecting it. Now back to 112. 112 is flying up at the top there. We were hoping that we would make 1 year on that balloon flight. That was unheard of a few years ago. If you could get a few weeks, that was great. But we were shooting for 1 year. After 310 days, at 310 days, that was our last time we heard from it. Leading up to that 310 days, we were only getting about 1 report per day, maybe a week apart. So we weren't getting much. And it was only being received by some very powerful receiving stations off the West Coast. So we've known that we've had a firmware bug in the firmware that causes it not to transmit as many times a day as it should. But the last few times that we did pick it up, the signal was very low. The signal is very low, and we feel like maybe the antenna, the bottom antenna, maybe after 310 days has swung back and forth enough in the air that maybe it broke off. I did some tests with the bottom antenna removed, and it's a very, very weak signal. And that's what we were getting. 310 days ago, we had a very, very weak signal. The altitude was still perfect. It was still up at 47,000. I think it's still flying. I think that the transmitter has just stopped. or I think the antenna has broken off. I was hoping that maybe one of these strong receiving stations might pick it up again over the next days or week. And if we could get a report, if we could just get a single whisper report every 3 weeks and know it's still flying, that would be great. So we haven't really given this one up yet. We haven't heard from it in 20 days. We've had them before go up in the, in the darkness for 20 days and we didn't hear from them, but it should be in the light. So we're still going to monitor for another few weeks, and we hope that W5KUB 112 we hope that Huey, Dewey, and Louie will get a transmission out and a position report at least once every few weeks, and we will know it's still flying, and we're hoping we hit the 1 year mark on it. But all I can confirm today is 310 days.
That's still pretty impressive, though, when you think about it. I mean, back before you got into these newer balloons, with the SBS, you were lucky to get 2 or 3 weeks, if that.
Yeah.
And now, you're talking 310 days on a pair, and Bill's saying that WB4ELK is still flying around Antarctica since November. And so, that's what, 4 months, 5 months?
Yeah.
So, I mean, these things are doing quite well for what they are.
So let me see if I can bring the screen up. See if I got it here real quick. Well, let's just look here. W5KUB.com. We're going to click on balloon at the top. We're going to scroll down just to get the days. Okay, so there we go. So 112 was launched 325 days ago, but actually we haven't heard from it since day 310.
It's only 15 days though, so you've gone 20 before.
Yeah. The other one, the 113 here on the right side, it's actually been flying 208 days now. And so, I mean, it's got 100 days to catch up with 112, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, it's still, these are amazing. 310 days. If you back when we started doing this, 310 days was just unheard of.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Bill, we're hoping that we hear from it. If it goes close to the West Coast, maybe that station will pick it up again. But it may change. It may change its route. It may go up through Alaska and over Canada or something, and that station may not receive it. So don't know. We do know that when we get over into Asia and all the countries that start with Stan, Uzbekistan and Pakistan and all the stands. I can't name the stands. Anyway,
yeah,
it's very difficult to get signals out over there. So wasn't counting too much there, not counting over the Pacific that much, especially with maybe a lost antenna. But if it just fly over California and, hey, it may fly over California during the night. And then we don't have any transmission at all. So that's the thing, it's got to be at the right place at the right time to get a position report with it crippled. And, that combination might not come around, but every 45 days or something. Who knows, man?
Yeah. All right. I wouldn't write it off just yet. I mean, it may be getting close, but
yeah,
I'd still hold out a little bit of hope for them both.
Yeah.
But if not, I mean, those are just phenomenal flight times.
Yeah. So Mark mentioned the government's tracking a balloon around Hawaii, but did a quick check and no amateur balloons in that region. Well, we may be flying there. It's just that we're not reporting. So we don't know if we're there or not. And that's kind of neat. The government now, they must have realized that they can check on these Pico balloons and kind of find out where they are.
Yeah.
I didn't know they're checking on them now.
Yeah. You think they'd have done that before they wasted a few of the sidewinders?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, basically, Russ, yeah, it's on a random wire antenna, possibly. We don't really know. You know, the firmware on what 112 we think is flaky, but Tom was saying that I thought it was 113 that had was it 112 that also possibly has the bad antenna?
Well, the 112 is the one that's had some flaky firmware since launch, and also that's the one that's been flying 310. We think the antenna could have broken. When that bottom antenna breaks off, you know, I mean, that's a half wave dipole, so you actually got a quarter wave above it.
Yeah.
Yeah, a quarter wave with no counterpose or anything, you know, no other half the antenna. So, man, the signal gets really weak. I did test it, and I got very few pickups with it here hanging in a tree.
Now, which one of those is running the 100 milliwatt transmitter?
That's 113. It
113.
crossed over
Okay.
and is down in the Antarctic now, and also that one we've got duplicate solar cells mounted at 45-degree angles, so it should be picking up some low sun certain days down there.
Did that one with the circular solar cells go down?
Yeah, it went down after, I don't know.
Because I thought that was a pretty cool design.
Yeah. And we did one like that years ago with the circular design. In fact, that's the one that the Polish Amateur Radio Club recovered that we launched. They went out during the pandemic and recovered one of our balloons there, and we haven't heard from them since. All right, well, let's see. Let me think here. I'm looking at the time here. 9:40. Anybody got any questions in the chat room there? Any volunteers to help at Dayton to help us? And also remember, in 2 weeks, we're going to webcast the Dayton Hamvention all day Saturday. We're going to have roving video reporters out there, and we're going to be giving away prizes on Saturday. I think that's the 20th. I think it's May the 20th. It's Saturday. And we're going to have a good time there. We'll probably be on Friday some, just testing and try to get things working a little better. I know we're going to have to work some issues out, there. But we might see something. You might see something on Friday. Who knows? We won't give out any prizes Friday, but that's going to be our test day. And I think it's so neat that we're using Elon Musk Starlink for our connection. In past years, we've used a satellite link with a satellite company. And this year, we're going to try out Starlink. And Mark tells me that I think it's supposed to have quite a good throughput on it.
Yeah, I've heard it's pretty good.
Now I've got friends, or we got relatives living on a houseboat in North Carolina. They finally put Starlink in, and they're only getting like 10 megs down or something. But that's better than what they had. They had like 1 meg before, so it was a great improvement. They were still happy with it, but typically, I think Starlink's supposed to give you hundreds of megs.
I want to say 200's a number I've heard.
Yeah.
Bill's got it right. How's the Starlink going to handle with 30,000 RF sources nearby?
Well, I guess it depends on the frequency. I mean, how many of those 30,000 are going to have the same frequency that Starlink can? Where's Starlink at? It's probably up in the gigs.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. One of the things there's over the years, and we've been going up here 40 years, we webcasted for 20 years from up here. And we were first out in the flea market. Oh man, it was very difficult to get internet out there. And if you could get 1 or 2 megs, you were doing great. And Verizon had a tower. You could see it from the Hara Arena. You could see the Verizon tower, but it got hit by lightning one year, and I think they never brought it back up. But using something like Verizon data, you you get 20,000 people there, and everybody has a telephone now. So you got 20,000 people trying to hit that one cell tower, and phones just do not want to work, man.
You don't have that many circuits available.
No. Mark says he thinks it's at
28 gig.
28 gig. That's on up there. Now, hey, we need to run I don't know the power level. It's probably got, I guess that's a patch type antenna. And it's kind of neat. I get the way out here Starlink works. Their antenna actually it actually moves. It positions itself. You don't have to aim it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So I don't know. We could run a RF exposure here. Well, hey, maybe you would have Mark here in the flea market set up a 10-foot fence around his booth there.
Yeah.
And he can put signs on there saying, we're running 28 gigs here. And, be aware if you step in here, you may get fried.
Yeah. This is a controlled environment per the FCC.
Yeah, you don't need a special app. WD8 IOL is asking, do you need a special app on your phone to our webcast? No, you don't. It uses your browser on your phone. We just send you a link. We send you a link to come into the show. You click that link, and it brings up the show, and you're actually then selected as a camera and microphone on the show. And we could have we can bring in multiple people, for instance, like this. I mean, I got 3 in here right now. We could have 10 or 12 people in here right now, and we can just select the one we want to look at, as they're walking around. So if we have multiple people walking around, we can just say, hey, that looks interesting, and we can double click on it, and it'll do that, and we can see what he's looking at, And I caught Glenn.
Caught me yawning. I saw you.
Hey, oh man.
Hey, it's
Well,
past my bedtime.
Yeah. So no special app or anything there. Let's see. Mark says Google says it ranges from 10 to 12 gigs and 37 and 42 gigs. But it also said you had to specify a fixed address for the Starlink. I don't know. Mark P. Maybe Mark P. You'll be the one setting it up there. When you set up, is there a place you go into the setup and you put the address? I know, for instance, like over in North Carolina, we have cell service is very, very bad out in the mountains. So we have what we call a network extender. Basically, it's a Verizon box that plugs in the internet, and it actually makes a mini cell site in your house. And it actually has GPS on it, and you have to put the little antenna there at the window where you can get the GPS. Because if it doesn't get a GPS lock, it won't work. And that's because of, I think, the 911 requirements. They want to know where it is. If you didn't have a GPS lock or an address in there, and you call for help on 911, they probably couldn't find you.
Yeah. Now Mark is saying that there's an address sitting on the Starlink app on his phone.
Wow. Okay. So probably just probably he just will need to go in there and change the address in the app to that. I mean, it may work without changing it. Again, that may be a 911 issue that they just would like to have a good address. But at least we know about that now, and we'll think about that. And if it doesn't work out there, then we'll know to put that in there. let's see, you might want to test with Starlink, Greene County Fairgrounds before May 19th.
Well, there you go. Mark says he's just 10 miles from the fairgrounds.
Yeah. Yeah, I think what Bill may be insinuating is that, I don't know, if it's got a specific address, GPS coordinates, it might not work if you move it somewhere else. But then again, in the app, if you can change that address, then it probably would work.
You also have to remember, it's designed to be worked with RVs and campgrounds too. So it's gonna be flexible in that regard.
Yeah, I guess so. Yep.
So I would think you might even have GPS coordinates linked into the app that would allow you to position it.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, Mark is saying you can travel with it and change the address.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I already get one just to play with here. They have a backup, they have a backup network. Now, you network guys, I'm not a real heavyweight Cisco networking guy or nothing. Let me ask you a question. Yeah, that wouldn't work. My question was, what if I set my streaming up? Probably couldn't even do it, to go out on Comcast on my cable and also on Starlink at the same time. And then
I think you would have to have a separate computer and set up to stream it to two different locations simultaneously.
Yeah, I don't think it'd work. Let's see, how long did you have to wait to get to Starlink? 1 year.
Yeah, just like Mark says, you need two computers.
Auto align. I guess that's auto.
Yeah, auto align according to your address.
Yeah. Okay.
And they're also saying it's like a 1 year lead time to get the Starlink. And my friend in Senatobia, he had to wait about a year to get his.
Well, one thing that delayed all that was Elon sent nearly all the units to the Ukraine.
Yeah,
that was a big. That emptied their supply pretty quick, I think.
Yeah, Mark says he's been signed up for a while. So
yeah. So hey, you got fiber close to you down here. Yeah. All right. Any possibilities of getting closer to getting connected?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I've seen it going in up the street, but no, they see my antennas and it's like, no, we ain't putting the fiber near this guy's house.
Oh man.
They're like, nope. We'll give him a bicycle and he can run the data down here.
Yeah.
I think at some point I will get fiber. But I'm in an older subdivision and it's just not a popular thing for them to do that at this point.
Yeah. Yep.
But I have seen them, they are definitely doing some kind of buried cable just up the street from me. So I'm assuming it's fiber. And I know that one street over is the C-Spire fiber that they run for the school internets.
Oh, okay.
So it's on all sides of me, but it's not quite there yet.
Yeah.
But one of these days, probably when I retire, that's when I get the full speed.
Well, you keep giving in, you're never going to retire, man.
Oh, yes, I am.
I don't know.
Nope. The pool is fixed. The air conditioner is fixed. I'm just now, I'm set to retire on June 30th, but if they make me a deal where I only have to work 1 day a week in the office, I'll stay.
Now, I heard what you said. The pool's fixed, the air conditioner's fixed. Now, usually in that situation, you're going to have to work about 10 years more, just to pay for that.
Nope, they're paid for.
Okay.
Yeah, this particular job, for lack of a better word, they offered me 2 wheelbarrows full of money to take this job.
Woo! All right. Well, just roll one over here. Hey,
no. That's what bought my darn FT 101.
Yeah, Bill is saying Starlink is now $120 a month. They advertised $99 last year. So
yeah.
$120 a month. I don't know,
Yeah. Well, Andy, you're not going to have any problems with fiber and your HF dipole because it's just silicon glass.
Yeah.
You're not going to have any interference. There's no copper there. The only copper is at the exchange point. So yeah, that's the cool thing about fiber.
All right. Hey, I'm going to try one thing here toward the end of the show. We're coming up right at the end of the show. We're going to terminate the show. I'm ready for some popcorn.
Oh yeah, popcorn sounds good.
Yeah, popcorn. Put a little extra salt on it. Oh man, you know what? I'll set my alarm. I got to get about 7 o'clock in the morning. I got to go get blood for a 6-month physical, man.
I just did mine a couple days ago.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe I should eat a lot of salt tonight. Maybe right.
Yeah,
before
right. They're going to love you if you do that. Well, hey, while you're talking about that, how's Kathy and her hips doing?
Oh, hey, she is walking around, doing pretty good. She's not even using a cane now. I mean, I'm talking walking with no walker, no cane. She's walking, man.
Very cool. Very cool.
And I don't know, her recovery was pretty rough the first week or 10 days.
Yeah.
And then you see on the internet, you see these people that have the surgery and they come out of it, and the next day they're out playing tennis, and they're saying, you know,
that
hey,
was my dad.
Yeah,
he had the surgery. Well, he had the surgery at 82, 83, thereabouts. Yeah. And he said he's played tennis all of his life, and he just now, about a year or two ago stopped. But he said if he had known that the surgery was going to be that good, he would have quit. He would have gotten the surgery years ago. But yeah, he was back out playing tennis in almost no time.
Yeah. Well,
and he's in his mid 80s, 86 now, I think. Now he's given up the tennis, but still, he had 40, 50 years worth of beat up knees and hips. And he says the best thing that ever happened to him.
Yep. All right. Well, Mark was telling me I shouldn't eat anything tonight. They're going to draw blood tomorrow.
If they're going to do cholesterol tests specifically, you don't want to eat.
12 hours. Let me think. 12 hours. Let's see. They're going to draw blood about 8.
You can't have your popcorn.
Oh man, I passed the 12-hour. Oh man,
no popcorn for you.
I don't know. Hey, if the blood comes back bad, I can just tell the doctor, I said, Doc, I eat a bunch of popcorn right before it. So just subtract out, whatever that does,
Well, you realize when you do that, they take twice as much blood the next time. And they make it hurt.
Oh, do they? Yeah. Oh man.
But yeah, I had all mine done. What was it? Last Thursday.
I tell you, man, between seeing a doctor for I see him twice a year. I don't know. Is that normal for physical?
Well, yeah. You're asking the wrong person what's normal. Okay?
Oh, yeah. I shouldn't ask you. So I see him twice a year. I see him twice a year. I guess they take blood twice a year or whatever. But
they take mine 4 times a year.
Yeah. And then, hey, man, the dentist twice a year. But let me tell you, I think they're cheating. I think they call me about every 3 months, to tell you the truth. I'm going to start putting it down. I'm going to put it down on a calendar. I can't believe 6 months pass,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So anyway.
It's kind of like the car oil changes. You don't need your oil changed every 3 months.
Yeah. Well, while we're speaking of oil, I don't change mine every 3 months. My Silverado I bought, it says don't change it every 3 months. It's got I don't know, maybe the newer car, they got a gauge in here and it says it'll tell you when to change the oil.
That's correct. It's got a little sensor in there that, checks the the dirtiness in the oil, and when it reaches a certain point, then it alerts you. Yeah, my Jeep's the same way.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of neat, Okay, here's what I was wanting to do. Well, the show was basically over, guys, but here's what I wanted to do. I'm concerned that I didn't have any audio when I play a video clip. I honestly think if I restarted the app, I think it would be there, to tell you the truth. I think it's a bug in the app.
Oh my gosh, you're agreeing with me? There's bugs in the app?
I'm going to do this. I'm going to hit refresh. I want to see what refresh does. Now, it's probably going to knock you off.
It's going to knock me off, yeah.
No, I don't know. It may bring you right back in. Let's see. In fact, I think I could close the app down, and I think you guys would still be on the show. Well, wait a minute. I don't know about that.
No,
No,
because
you'd still be on the app. If let's say Mark was on with us, if I lost my connection, you and Mark would still be on the app talking to each other.
I don't think so.
Yeah, well, I
Because
think
it
so.
loses the control path and it'll
I
drop
think
me
so.
out.
All right, here's what I want to do. I'm going to hit refresh and get ready to hit your link to join. But first, let me see if you join automatically. This will be a good test. We're learning what this app will do. So I'm going to hit refresh right now. And hey, guys, if we lose everybody out there, 73 is good night. Thanks for watching tonight. Hope you enjoyed the show. We'll see you next week. And hey, invite somebody to the show. Okay, here we go. All right, so I'm going to do a refresh right now. Don't immediately join. Let's just see if it comes right back in by itself, okay?
Okay, I won't do
Here we
anything.
go. Here we go. Here we go. Refresh right. All right. I just did a refresh. And you're still
I'm
there.
still here.
You're still there. Now let me see if I hear audio. Let's see. Man, I'm not getting any audio.
It's coming out of my default speakers.
Well, I don't know why it quit coming out of my speaker and it's coming out of your speaker. So, oh man, okay.
There's something in the way the app routes the playback audio versus microphone audio.
I'm gonna look at one thing here. Look at my audio. Well, microphone array. Okay. Communicate digital audio, digital microphone array. Nope, I've selected the right one. Okay, well, I'll have to figure this out later. So the people out there watching are hearing Hambot, right?
Yeah,
I mean, so everybody's hearing it. It doesn't come out here.
Nope, comes out of my primary speakers on this PC, but I'm hearing you inside the headphones.
All right.
But that's a setting in the Melon app.
Yeah.
So Melon app is not using the audio settings there at the bottom of the screen next to the microphone for playback audio. Now, you as a host, you may have a different set of controls than what I do. Because I don't have half the controls you've got.
Yeah. All right. Oh man. I want some popcorn.
Yeah, but no, but 12 hours, nope. No popcorn.
Hey, you going for surgery? They tell you don't eat anything after midnight,
That's right. Oh, so now you're going to play this little game.
Yeah. I mean, if that's good enough for surgery, don't eat after midnight. I've got.
I tell you what, I'm going to make it easy for you. Yeah. I'm going to make a double batch and I'll eat your share.
I got 3 hours on that standard. Don't eat anything after midnight for surgery.
No, you've only got 2 hours. You're not on Eastern time.
Yeah,
you're not on Mountain time.
Yeah. I got 2
now
hours.
You could pretend you're on Pacific time and go that route.
I can eat an awful lot in 2 hours.
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe I had a popcorn. I just won't put extra salt on it.
Actually, I found this stuff. It's called no salt salt.
Yeah.
And what it is, instead of sodium chloride, it's potassium chloride. And it's just a slightly different chemical makeup. It tastes just a little bit different. It's got kind of a small metallic aftertaste if you take it straight. But if you put it in stuff like popcorn or in food, it's perfect. And it's not as bad for you as the regular salt.
I don't know. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I'm going to ask my cardiologist about it, but it's what I use because, it's sodium chloride is bad for you, period. Potassium chloride, they call this no salt salt. So I'm just questioning, is it as bad of a health risk thing? And of course, we don't have Papa Doc on here to tell us.
Yeah.
You know, the one night we don't get Papa Doc to tell us, you know, what we can and can't do medically.
Yeah. Hey, wait a minute. I'm looking at Bruce there in 7XGR told me, look at my sound settings. I'm under my sound settings. Realtek audio. It says headphones. I don't know why headphones. Oh, well. Input. Digital audio interface. That's not right. That's not right at all. I'm not on a USB capture audio. I'm straight in mic array. Something's weird here, man. Oh, well, I might have to look at this tomorrow. This is going to take some time to figure out.
Yeah.
All right. Good night. Good night, everybody. Good night. Enjoyed it, man. Hey, you had a good time tonight, everybody. See you.
All right, man. We'll see you.
All right.